Welcome back, everyone. Today we're diving into one of the most anticipated matchups of the week, the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Arizona Cardinals. There's a lot of excitement, but also plenty of concerns swirling around this game, especially with injuries, player performances, and the growing pressure on Mike McCarthy's team to keep momentum rolling deep into the season. The Cowboys are coming off a mixed stretch of performances, flashes of dominance overshadowed at times by inconsistency, while the Cardinals, though struggling on paper, have proven to be more dangerous than their record suggests. This preview will break down everything you need to know: the injury updates, key players to watch like Cooper Beebe and Donovan Wilson, the game's tactical matchups, and ultimately, a bold prediction for how things might unfold when these two squads collide on Sunday. Starting off with the Cowboys, it's been a roller coaster of a season. The offense, led by Dak Prescott, has started to find a bit of rhythm lately, with Tony Pollard beginning to look more like the explosive back fans were hoping for after taking over the RB1 role. CeeDee Lamb remains the anchor in the passing game, showing week after week why he's a legitimate top-tier receiver. But the story heading into this game isn't just about offensive fireworks, it's about whether the Cowboys can play consistently enough to avoid those frustrating lapses that have haunted them in key moments. The defense, once viewed as the strength of the team, has taken some hits recently, especially with injuries and fatigue setting in. And that brings us to one of the biggest concerns right now: the injury situation. Let's talk about injuries because they could play a major role in how this matchup unfolds. The Cowboys are dealing with a few key names on the injury report. One of the most notable updates involves safety Donovan Wilson, who's been nursing an injury that has limited his impact lately. Wilson, known for his physicality and playmaking in the secondary, is a crucial part of Dan Quinn's defensive scheme. Without him at full strength, the Cowboys lose a tone setter in the back end of the defense. He's the kind of player who makes receivers think twice before going over the middle and provides a spark of aggression that's contagious. The Cowboys are hopeful he can go on Sunday, but if he's limited or sidelined, that could leave Dallas more vulnerable to deep shots and broken plays, something the Cardinals have quietly improved at. Another storyline to keep a close eye on is rookie offensive lineman Cooper Beebe. The rookie has been one of the most exciting developments on this Cowboys roster. Coming out of Kansas State, Beebe brought with him a reputation for toughness, strong hands, and the kind of attitude that fits perfectly in the Dallas locker room. He's been thrown into the fire early, and while he's had his fair share of rookie growing pains, the coaching staff has been impressed with how quickly he's adapted to the speed and physicality of the NFL. Against the Cardinals' defensive front, he'll have a serious test. Arizona might not have the most intimidating pass rush in the league, but they play hard, disguise blitzes effectively, and love to exploit young linemen who make the slightest mistake in protection. Beebe's performance could be pivotal if he can keep Prescott upright and create lanes for Pollard. The Cowboys' offense could roll. Now, turning to the Cardinals, they're not a team to underestimate. Despite their record and the outside perception that they're in a rebuilding phase, the Cardinals have shown grit. Quarterback Kyler Murray's return has added some unpredictability to the offense. He's still getting his legs back under him, but when he's on, he's capable of breaking down even the most disciplined defenses with his mobility. The Cowboys' front seven will have to contain him, which is easier said than done. Micah Parsons, who continues to be the emotional and athletic centerpiece of this Dallas defense, will be key. His ability to chase down Murray and limit those improvisational plays could be the difference between a dominant defensive performance and a frustrating afternoon. Parsons will likely see a lot of movement, and the Cardinals will try to neutralize him with misdirection and quick passes, something they've done effectively against aggressive defenses. Offensively, the Cowboys need to find balance early in this game. Too often, they've leaned heavily on the pass, putting too much on Dak Prescott's shoulders. Against Arizona, they have an opportunity to control the tempo with the ground game. Tony Pollard, Deuce Vaughn, and Rico Dowdle form a solid trio that can attack in different ways. Pollard with his bursts, Vaughn with his agility, and Dowdle with his downhill power. If the Cowboys' offensive line, anchored by Tyler Smith and guided by Cooper Beebe, can win in the trenches, they can open up play-action opportunities for Prescott. CeeDee Lamb has been red hot, and Brandon Cooks seems to finally be sinking into the offense as that deep threat Dallas envisioned when they signed him. Jake Ferguson at tight end is also emerging as a consistent option, showing great chemistry with Dak, particularly in the red zone. But what's equally important is avoiding penalties and mental mistakes. The Cowboys have been plagued by drive-killing flags and missed assignments, particularly in key moments. Against an opportunistic Cardinals team, those errors can swing momentum fast. Arizona might not have a roster stacked with stars, but they play hard, they stay disciplined, and they capitalize when opponents get sloppy. The Cowboys need to approach this matchup with the mindset that nothing will be given easily. Every inch will have to be earned. Defensively, it's all about discipline and tackling. The Cowboys have been one of the league's better defenses statistically, but they've also shown vulnerability against mobile quarterbacks and shifty backs who can get to the edge. That's exactly where Arizona will attack. James Conner's physical running style can test the Cowboys' front, while Kyler Murray's ability to extend plays and find open receivers could stress the secondary, especially if Donovan Wilson isn't 100%. Trayvon Diggs' absence continues to be felt, so Stephon Gilmore and Darren Bland have had to shoulder the load. Bland has been an interception machine this season, and his instincts will be tested again by the Cardinals' quick-hit passing game. If he can force a turnover or two, it could tilt the game decisively in Dallas' favor. Let's not overlook Jerry Jones in all of this. The Cowboys owner has been making headlines again this week, as he often does, with his comments about the team's future and their playoff ambitions. Jones remains bullish on the Cowboys' championship window, emphasizing that the team is built to win now. But behind the scenes, there's real pressure on this coaching staff and roster to perform. Every game like this one, against a perceived underdog, becomes a measuring stick for how mentally tough and prepared they are. A sloppy win won't silence critics, a dominant, clean performance will. Jones knows it, McCarthy knows it, and the players certainly feel it. In terms of keys to victory, it really comes down to three things for Dallas. First, win the battle up front. The offensive and defensive lines have to dominate. Cooper Beebe's ability to anchor protection and Micah Parsons' ability to wreck the Cardinals' rhythm will define the tone. Second, stay disciplined. The Cowboys cannot afford to extend drives with penalties or give away field position. And third, finish drives. Too many times this season, the Cowboys have settled for field goals instead of touchdowns. Against a team like Arizona that thrives on momentum, they need to step on the gas early and keep their foot down. For the Cardinals, their path to victory is different but clear. They need Kyler Murray to be electric. His escapability can frustrate defenses and open up big plays, and the Cowboys have shown they can be vulnerable when quarterbacks extend plays outside the pocket. If Arizona can establish a bit of a running game, keep the Cowboys guessing, and maybe force a turnover or two, they could hang around longer than expected. And if they do that, all the pressure shifts to Dallas. So what's the prediction? On paper, the Cowboys are the better team, more talent, more depth, and higher expectations. But games aren't played on paper. They're played on emotion, discipline, and execution. If the Cowboys come in focused and healthy, particularly with Donovan Wilson back on defense and Cooper Beebe holding steady on the line, they should be able to control this game. Expect Dak Prescott to put together one of his more efficient performances, distributing the ball effectively, leaning on the run game, and taking calculated deep shots to Lamb and Cooks. Defensively, look for Micah Parsons to make a statement after a few quieter weeks, maybe even forcing a turnover on a key drive. The Cardinals will have their moments. Kyler Murray will probably break off a few highlight plays, but in the end, the Cowboys' talent and physicality should win out. Final prediction: Cowboys 27, Cardinals 17. It won't be perfect, but it'll be another step in the right direction for a Dallas team still finding its identity, but showing flashes of something special. As long as they keep their focus, stay healthy, and clean up the mental mistakes, this could be a statement win that propels them toward the tougher stretch of their schedule. And that wraps up our Cowboys vs. Cardinals preview and prediction. There's a lot on the line here, not just another win, but a chance for the Cowboys to prove they can handle business against teams they're supposed to beat. We'll see if they rise to the occasion or fall into old habits. Either way, it's going to be an exciting matchup full of storylines to watch. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more in-depth Cowboys coverage, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a future update. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time as we dive deeper into the Cowboys' journey through the season.